Have you ever wondered what actually happens after you click Submit on that dream job application in Europe? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. We're putting you in the hiring manager's chair, say in Amsterdam or Berlin, and you're going to see exactly what they see. Let's figure out what gets a CV into the yes pile.
Okay, so here we are. Welcome to my desk. I've got my coffee, and I've got this monster stack of applications to get through. Your CV is in here somewhere, but honestly, this pile isn't getting any smaller on its own. The pressure is on.
And let's be real for a second. You don't have 5 minutes to wow me. You've got maybe 30 seconds, tops. In this first pass, my brain is not looking for reasons to hire you. It's actually looking for reasons to say no so I can get to the next one. It's a game of rapid-fire elimination. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth.
So, in those first few seconds, where do my eyes go? Bam! Straight to your language skills. In a place like Europe, where teams are super international, I have to know you can communicate clearly. It's the very first gate you have to get through.
And I'm not looking for words like fluent or conversational. I mean, what does that even mean, right? It's way too vague. Here we have a system, a universal standard that cuts through all that noise. It's called the CEFR, and trust me, it is the gold standard.
The whole beauty of the CEFR scale is its clarity. It's broken down into 3 main tiers. A1/A2, you're a basic user. You can handle simple stuff. B1/B2, okay, now we're talking. You're an independent user who can get by in most work situations. And C1/C2, that tells me you're a proficient user, basically at a near-native level. See? No guesswork. And please, don't think this is just some minor detail you can skip. Using the CEFR levels can literally be the difference between getting an interview or getting ignored. It shows me you get it. You understand the professional norms here. It's a huge part of that first impression.
So, you did it. Your CV says German C1. Perfect. You're past the first filter. Your application just got moved from the massive everyone pile to the much smaller maybe pile. Now I'm actually going to invest some time and look at the real substance of your CV.
And this is where we hit a really big cultural difference. On the left, you see a typical US resume, right? It's lean, it's all about achievements. But to a European manager, that can honestly look a little incomplete. Over here, we're often expecting the full story, a complete chronological history. A professional photo is usually expected, and yeah, in some places you might still see personal details like marital status, though that's becoming way less common.
So what's the deal with all this extra information? You know, it really comes down to culture, especially in what we call the DACH region. That's Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. A photo is still very much the norm. The whole point is to give a more complete, holistic picture of who you are. It's about your journey, not just your highlight reel.
Okay, so the content is solid, you've got your CEFR levels, you've got a full work history, you've passed test number 2, but there is one final, and I mean crucial, hurdle that can make or break it in these first seconds. The visual layout. How does this thing actually look on the page?
When it comes to layout, you basically have 2 camps. Over on the left, there's the Europass format. Look, it was created by the EU to standardize things, but let's be honest, it can look pretty clunky and dated. Then on the right, you have these clean, modern layouts. They're just so much easier for me to scan and find what I'm looking for. Which one do you think makes a better impression?
Now this part is absolutely key. Using a modern layout is great. It shows you're current, but it has to contain the traditional European-style content we just talked about. A slick design with a US-style resume inside? That's a miss. You need the modern look and the comprehensive European substance. Both. Okay, I'm looking at your CV again. Let's see. Language levels are CEFR. Check. Work history is complete and chronological. Check. There's a professional photo. And the whole thing is laid out in a clean, modern way that respects my time. Yep, this is it. This one goes in the interview pile.
So let's do a quick recap. What was the winning formula here? It's pretty simple, really. The winning CV used the clear CEFR standard for languages. It included a professional photo and a full chronological history. And it was all presented in a clean, easy-to-read, modern layout. Not that generic Europass template. It was the complete package.
So, that brings us to the big question for you. Now that you've seen things from my side of the desk, take a hard look at your own CV. Ask yourself, is this thing built to be understood in 30 seconds? Or is it, for one of these simple reasons, built to be skipped?